What is going on, guys? It is Monstrotto coming to you from my beautiful lair. Today I'm going to be talking just about a small subject, just in life in general, about fame, fortune, money, popularity, and why it actually doesn't matter in our lives at all. The things that really do matter is your passion, your drive, what you want to do in life, and why it's important to stay focused on that no matter what. To basically illustrate my point today, though, really quick, we're actually going to be focusing on three artists. The first artist we're going to be focusing on is Mr. Claude Monet, also known as the founder/father of French Impressionism. The second person we're going to be talking about is himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Vincent van Gogh, or Vincent van Gogh. I'm pissing somebody off with that pronunciation, I just don't know who. And last but not least, we are going to be talking about Mr. Johannes Vermeer. You've seen his paintings in TV shows, movies, every art book ever written in history. So the first person we are going to be talking about today, like I said, is Mr. Claude Monet. In Claude Monet's case, just off the bat, I do have to admit, later on in life he did become a little bit famous. You know, he got into the money a little bit later on in his life. But the biggest problem and the biggest letdown in his life was that nobody noticed him at all until later on, after he got older, after his masterpieces were already done. Through the beginning, through the middle of his life when he was doing his masterpieces, there were a lot of critics, a lot of judges that just dismissed it off. They said, it looks childlike, it wasn't finished. They didn't really get it because his thing was landscapes. But he did it in a way in which not many people understood, because he took light and he had this special way of how to reflect the light and how to incorporate the light very well in his landscapes. Nobody ever really got that. So the thing about Claude Monet was that he got judged, he got criticized, he got slapped in the face and saying, you don't know what you're doing, oh, this is crap. And he just basically ignored them. He ignored the judges, ignored the critics, kept doing what he did because he loved it, not because he was trying to impress anybody else. Our second person is Mr. Vincent, and we're going to stop right there because of pronunciation and the war of how to pronounce his name, even though it's actually pronounced as Vincent van Gogh. I'm not making that up. The funniest thing about Vincent is that we know of his work so very well. You can look at any oil painting, and if I were to put one of Vincent's in that group of oil paintings, you could probably pick it out and say, oh yeah, that's Vincent. And of course, we all know the story during Vincent's life. He had a lot of, mental stresses. He had a lot of stresses in life. Stresses through friends, family, relationships, definitely. And I do remember reading as well that he only sold, I think, one painting in his entire life. So he was never recognized for the hard work that he put in. This guy, this poor guy had more stress in his life than any other painter that I know of so far. And to cope and to deal with that with your art is a major thing. It's a major accomplishment. Although he did take his life at age 37, it's just way too young, and we lost such an amazing, one of the most influential artists. It really is a shame, but we can still learn that you don't have to do art necessarily to escape the stresses of everyday life. For me personally, it's music, obviously. I love making music. I'm going to continue to make music, and it's my escape as well, just like it probably was for Vincent. And last but certainly not least, yet again, it is Mr. Johannes Vermeer, like I said, known for painting Girl with a Pearl Earring, of course. His attention to detail is just so smooth. I love his paintings and I love his style. Johannes Vermeer, of course, he never got the credit that he deserved. He never made any money on his paintings, never made any money on the thing that he loved to do. I mean, he left his family in debt, and yet he still continued to paint these marvelous masterpieces, these one-of-a-kind, detailed just in his style paintings that I still can't believe today. But the biggest tragedy about Johannes Vermeer is that his art, even today, it was and is attributed to other artists. A lot of other historians were attributing other artists as painting what he painted. Today we still are, trying to argue if it's actually a Vermeer or not, which is completely devastating, and still can't even give the amount of credit that we deserve to him for his painstakingly detailed art. Vermeer painted all through his life. No matter what financial troubles came up, he was never known for his work, never became famous at all whatsoever, until, like we said, years later after his death. He kept at it. He kept at it as a true passion, something that he loved. So what can we take away from this today that we have learned from these three amazing gentlemen of the arts themselves? The first is that if anybody judges you or critiques you of what you do or what you love to do, just ignore them. It doesn't really matter anyway. You have to do what makes you happy. When doing something that makes you happy, it can also take you away from the stresses of life, stresses of relationship, family matters. No matter what is going on in your life, it can still take you away from that, even for a short while. Doing something that you love to create, and who knows, maybe one day can make somebody else smile, just like a beautiful yellow sunflower. But the most important thing that we've learned is to always continue with your passion, what you love to do, what you love to create in life. Otherwise, you're just looking for that fortune, that fame, to get famous. And even if you do, or even if the money runs out, your popularity stops, then you're left with something that you really don't love all that much. Remember, it's better in life to go into poverty and obscurity, doing what you absolutely love in life, just like these three gentlemen, rather than being famous, getting rich, doing something that you really just aren't into. It's supposed to be your creative imagination working to lift you up, to make you feel better, or just to get working into something creatively that you love all through your life. So to wrap this up, remember, continue your passion, continue doing what you do, loving to create. If you haven't found your niche yet, keep looking, it's out there. Just keep experimenting with different arts, different things that you can create with, that you love doing. It is going to be out there, and remember, do not focus on being famous or, getting rich, fame, fortune, any of that. I mean, just look at my channel. I've been on YouTube for almost an entire year now, and I have no subscribers, and yet I'm as happy as one of Bob Ross's painted trees. So I will see you guys in the next video in our next adventure. Remember, stay happy, stay passionate, and I'm not going to tell you to like or subscribe. I know you guys already know how to do that by now, so stay sexy, you beast. Be passionate, be happy, not wealthy. Wealthy? Don't be wealthy. Don't you dare be wealthy. I will find you if you become wealthy. I will find you and hunt you down. He kept to it and he kept at it. So where am I going with this? I don't know. You tell me. Where am I going with this? Nowhere.